Welcome to the Money Over 50 podcast, brought to you by Dallas Davison and Michael Hogue from Money Over 50 Financial Advisors. This information is general in nature and does not take into account your objectives, financial situation, or needs. Therefore, you should consider whether the information is appropriate for you and your personal circumstances. If you require personal advice, please contact Money Over 50 Financial Advisors. Here are your hosts, Dallas Davison and Michael Hogue.
Welcome to Money Over 50 with Dallas and Michael. Dallas, happy birthday. You're 33 years old today.
Thanks, Michael. Thank you. I'm glad you remembered. My own mother has forgotten so far today, so I've just thought I'd get that on the record and rub that in case she's listening to this.
By the time she's listening to this,
I'll be almost 34.
It's going to be all over. So I was just telling you before that my father forgot my birthday one day, and I'm not a big birthday person anyway. And
No.
I actually had to get him to sign some paperwork that day, and he pulled out a pen, signed his name, and he said, "Oh, what's the date today?" And I said, "It's the 31st of March, which is my birthday, whatever year it was." He said, 31st of March, wrote it down. Didn't even
back the paperwork.
Didn't even gave me back the paperwork. The penny didn't even drop. So before we get started, your topic today is going to be 33 years of retirement. So very fitting.
Yes.
Tell you what you need to do though.
What's that?
You don't have a 33rd birthday party. You have a 33.33 recurring birthday party. So leading up to, I'm well past that date now, but leading up to my 33.33 recurring milestone, which is easy for me because I'm on the 31st of March. So it's pretty easy to work out. After that, it's another 4 months after that. So I swore that I was going to have a 33.33 recurring birthday party just to because I'd never heard of anyone doing it. It's a nice fiscal thing.
Hopefully you get to 100.
Just a fraction short of a third of 100. It's all of those types of things. I forgot to do it. So
there's a reason why it's not a common thing.
So just a suggestion. So
see, I feel like that's the sort of thing. If someone texts me and said, "Hey, I'm having a 33.33," I'd go, "All right, mate. I can't. I don't know how to respond to that. I don't know what to do with that information." It's all too hard.
Well, people throw a birthday party in for anything now. That's why I got to say, they celebrated. We all started celebrating the milestones. So 30, we celebrated 40, 50. Then all of a sudden, people started celebrating, like adults started celebrating things like their 42nd birthday or their 33rd birthday. So I thought that would be just a bit of a spin on that. It's for me, 33.33 recurring is more of a milestone than 33. So
I'm sure you've heard me ranting like an old geezer about this, but my theory is, especially men of my generation, where they have a 32nd birthday. You go, mate, between the ages of 21 and about 50, your life should be geared around being a householder, taking care of those around you, providing, doing all those sorts of things. You don't get to have a party until you're 50. That's why we make a big thing out of 50, because that's right. You've done your bit. You can go off onto the like the Eskimos. If you need to go off on an ice floe and have it drift off and you die, that's it. You've done your piece by 50. But until then, what are you celebrating? You haven't done anything yet.
Agreed. Yeah, agreed. Yeah. So everyone, that's significant, because everyone listening, we assume, is over 50.
That's true.
So life starts at 50.
I haven't alienated any of our listeners.
You have 17 years to wait. You look 50 right now, but you act 50. So
that's what got me thinking about this, because yes, so we've got a 3-year-old and a 10-month-old, and I turned 33 today. As you say, look 50, feel 300 at times. And I got thinking about how long 33 years feel. In some ways, it's like a lot of things. In some ways, it's the blink of an eye, and in other ways, it's a really long time. So where I got to this thing, and I think we've talked about this before, about really understanding that as a society, we think of our, and this is a thing that happens all the time, you plan for your grandparents' retirement. If that's a phrase that I've heard or made up or something along the way, which is that we kind of think of it as, right, I'll work until pension age, and then I'll, live for a couple of years and watch some TV and go fishing, and then I'll die 3 years later. And that's kind of, to some degree, that's what the retirement plan was 50 odd years ago. But, people who are 50 now, your retirement actually looks like, for a lot of people we're talking to, they want to retire at 60. A healthy couple that retires at 60, on average, one of the two will live into their early 90s. And that's 33 years of retirement. So that just got me thinking about, like, if you look at the life of someone who comes in and sits down for a meeting with me, looks at me, I've already lost my hair. I'm talking about the kids that I've got and this thing and clients that I've had for 10 years and like all these very extended periods of time that have already happened, different phases in my life that's 33 years. That 50-year-old couple that's talking to me about their retirement, I still think they think that it's much shorter than that. Does that make any sense at all?
Look, absolutely. One of the things that I've noticed, I remember when I was a boy, my grandparents were in their 70s and they were hobbling around and they looked like, to me, I think everyone looks a bit older then, but they actually looked older and their friends looked older and they hobbled around and all those types of things. Now I look at people in their 70s and they're even in their late 70s. There are quite a few people that I know in that late 70s. They're still traveling overseas, some of these people. So and they're living really, really active lives.
That's
right. Like even between the early 60s and the late 70s, like you're pushing out to between 15 to 20 years.
Yeah.
So there's sort of 2/3 of that period, like up to 2/3, half to 2/3 of that period that you just said of 33 years. So, and we also have clients that are retiring now in their early to mid 60s, and usually one of their parents is still alive.
Yeah, we talked about, I think this in a recent podcast about everyone says when you say about, okay, an income, you need to draw an income for 20, 30 years in retirement, everyone sort of scoffs. I'll be dead by then. Yeah. But those same people, they have exactly those people in their early 60s have one of their parents is still alive and kicking. And
even I think I know where you're going with this, but I won't. I'll let you go there. But even the first 3 years of your retirement, on average, that's going to cost you $250,000.
Yep.
So obviously you have to make decisions around how do I grow my money, continue to grow my money, how do I earn enough of a rate of return, how does my money make enough money in retirement to be able to even fund the first 3 years before we start to head backwards and then last for the rest of the period. Now you might think all doom and gloom. The glass is half full. Let me tell you that. Worst case scenario, we live in Australia. The standard of life's pretty good. If we start to run out of money,
it is such a funny thing that when you have meetings with people and you go, look, bad news is you're probably going to live for 30 years in retirement. You're going to be fit and healthy for 15 to 20 of them. You're going to get to go and travel, and you can see people like, scratching their head, going, geez, this is a big problem. Hang on a minute. You're living for another 30 years. This has got to be a much better thing than retirement planning when you lived for 5 years and half of them were decrepit, sort of. So there's two thoughts I had about this concept of 33 years as a very long time. So I guess three within that. But the first one is as you talk about, just that the pure nuts and bolts of an income. What will you live on for the next 33 years? And I think, we've touched on this in a heap of different ways, thinking of that as it's not a pot of money that you draw down on. There is no, but the pot of money that you would need to draw from and not have that money grow, I think the analogy I've used is a tank of water. If you've got a tank of water and you're just taking out the water you need every day and you're not topping that rainwater tank up, you're going to need a huge amount of money to be able to draw out of it for 33 years without having some plan to top that back up. And so that is the reality of that, is that not only can you not afford to draw 33 years of your current rate of income, that income needs, your expenses are going to go up substantially over 33 years. Like you've only got to, and we've touched on a heap of these stories about, think back to, even in my childhood, things that I can remember that were, a third or a quarter of the cost of what they are now. Like you have to allow for the fact that not only do I have 33 years worth of income, I've got income needs, I've got 33 years worth of a rising income need over time to live the same lifestyle. Just to stay at the same pace, I'm going to need to draw more money every year. And if you think that you can do that by having just a bucket of money that you scoop out of without topping it up, you may well be able to do that, but not many people that we meet with are. And so it's just a really reframing that of, I need to draw an income for 33 years. It's a huge amount of time. My income needs are going to go up with inflation a lot over that 33 years. I need to be thinking of that as an active thing, that money is getting dressed and going to work for me. I'll say it so you don't have to, so that it can be growing and working for me so that I can keep doing that for that 33 years. So that's sort of the first point that I thought about with that, which, I mean, we've touched on that one a fair bit. The other part of it, which we've touched on a bit as well, is that when you then talk to people about, okay, we've nutted out the money part of your retirement, we're going to build up to this retirement savings target, we're going to have that money invested in a way that you can draw a rising income stream in perpetuity, you'll never run out of money. Okay, great. What are you actually going to do day to day in retirement? And people say, I'm going to go fishing. Can you imagine going fishing for 33 years? Have you ever seen, Groundhog Day? Where, it doesn't matter what you do. If you do something, the same thing, or you do something that you think you enjoy, you are not going to be able to do that for 33 years. Not separate to all of the physical issues with that. It's just not a way to think of your retirement to go, I'm just going to do this thing and I'll have a little hobby and I'll do that and I'll do it for 33 years. Like, there's a heap off the back of that probably needs a lot more thought. But I think that both of these things that we see when you think about like a 33-year retirement, it comes back to a bit of a glibness on behalf of people where they're going, the easy end, I'll be dead before then. I won't need to worry about drawing that rising income stream. And then what am I going to fill my time with? I'll go fishing, that kind of thing. It really needs a lot more. Anyone who's talking to me or listening to me think, I'm 33 years of age. That's all of the things that I've seen and done and experienced and achieved and not achieved and all the rest of it. That's how long your retirement's going to be. Like, you've got to fund that, and you've got to find ways to constructively and productively fill your time within there.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, absolutely. I'm going to have to find something because we're living with my parents-in-law at the moment, and my father-in-law, Mike, he's a great guy. Yeah. But he honestly admits, he goes, I'm just filling my time waiting to die.
Yeah.
Now he makes some beautiful woodwork in his shed. Yeah. But a lot of his days actually spent. For example, we collect cans for the recycling, and the kids do it all. And for the 10 cent, which I'm sure everyone knows about. So he thought it'd be fun to actually flatten them out to see how many flattened cans he could fit in this box. So that's the sort of stuff that he does. I don't have a shed, so I don't know what I'm going to do.
You're going to drive, drive yourself mad. You're going to drive your wife mad. You're going to drive everyone mad.
It's a good way to think of it. It is a good way to think of it. Yeah, certainly. Yeah, there's the money issue, and also the how am I going to spend my time during those periods of time.
Yep. Thanks for listening.
Thank you for listening to the Money Over 50 podcast with Money Over 50 Financial Advisors. For more information and resources, visit the Money Over 50 website, mo50.com.au. We look forward to catching up again soon.